Hello, Cyndi Olin here with Create Your Own Luck and Love, and welcome to Let Love In. And I'm so excited to have my dear friend and special guest, Greg Westwood. Welcome, Greg. Excited that we're in for a real treat with you today.
That's sweet. It's so good to see you again, and I'm really honored to be here.
Yes. Well, I feel the same. And I'll share a little bit about you to our watchers and listeners out there. Greg describes himself as a spiritual risk taker. I love that. He's a creative, embodied healer, spiritual teacher, author, coach, consultant, leader of transformational experiences. Has been a former professional dancer, actor, massage therapist, somatic psychotherapist. What haven't you done, Greg? Great. And honors the wisdom of the body and the healing power of creative expression. I love that. His work is called Depth Integration. So I'm excited to dive in to our topic. What is conscious embodiment?
That's a great question. There's so many different methods in conscious embodiment. It's such a wide range, but basically it's using the body as a guide to understand what you're truly experiencing, and and using different techniques to let go of the mind. So there's the consciousness, there's the conscious awareness that's developed, and I use meditation with my clients to start with that, so that there's you're connecting with that internal witness and observer that is a little bit detached from what's going on emotionally and mentally inside of us, so that we can kind of observe ourselves and not be so triggered in life, so to speak. So conscious embodiment uses breath work, movement, creative expressions to release that which we've stuffed in our bodies that come out, in our relationships and in our lives and in our beliefs, and going into a spaciousness, which to me is truly what spirituality is about. It's always going back into an openness and a spaciousness. And so the body, using those kind of conscious embodiment techniques, helps you kind of clear your system of what no longer serves you, so that you connect with your authentic true self, your connection with the divine.
That is powerful. Literally, it's what I'm hearing you say is using the body as a guide to, cleanse away not only what isn't serving you, but helping to really using it as source to step into your authentic truth of who you are and that self-expression.
Yeah, because your body doesn't lie.
Yeah. Didn't Louise Hay say that?
She probably did. Yeah. But it doesn't lie, because if you experience a sensation, you're experiencing a sensation. Now, if your mind associates that with a memory or something, then that's where things get a little bit more confusing.
Right, because your body could be associating something with a core memory or a trauma, which it may not be that, right? Like it
Exactly.
may not be that danger thing that is actually happening. So this is great because
That's so well said.
yeah.
Because when you get the mind involved, the quote the monkey mind, that's why you want to develop the awareness. That consciousness is not your thoughts. that
Yeah.
consciousness is a witness to what's going on. And so that's where conscious embodiment is different than something involved with like psychotherapy where you're working with your mind.
Right. Right. So how does it, how can, how does this work when it comes to intimate relationships too? How can this support our, you know, being able to, guide, especially our women that are watching and listening, and I'm sure there's some men too, um, guide into creating, utilizing the body as wisdom and the conscious mind to support with receiving that wisdom. Because I'm with you. I feel like our body is so wise and our consciousness has so much that we could, literally go into and say, oh yes, this is good for me. This is the kind of partnership that I need, or danger, danger.
Right. Yeah. So your body will tell you pretty much right away if it's danger, danger, right? You will get a sensation, and you need to trust that. Not necessarily that you know what it's about, but that it's true. Something doesn't feel safe in that relationship. So you need to really trust that, but then be careful about what kind of mindset you put on that. But what I want to say, really back up really quickly,
Yeah.
is what's beautiful about conscious embodiment is it really helps with projection and also empowerment. So it really helps you not project your feelings onto somebody else because you're taking responsibility for what's going on inside of you. There's that assumption in conscious embodiment that you're 100% responsible for your internal experience. And
Absolutely.
a lot of people take that to you're 100% responsible for your reality. And whereas that may be true many times, I'm not so sure that's completely true with, like, earthquakes and things like that, or whatever is happening around you. But that internal reality, it's really helpful to connect with that so that you don't project onto other people. But it also is a way, and I'm going to start a little bit of a slide presentation here, just with some basic concepts for your viewers about conscious embodiment truth telling, and how it really will help, especially if we're talking about women in the audience, women staying empowered in the relationship. I think that's a big issue, I'm assuming.
It's a
Uh,
big thing. It's huge. It's easy to
right.
to inadvertently give away your power, right? Or not, you know, feel disempowered when it comes to dating or, you know, partnership too.
Right. And I'm going to say this, and then I'll jump ahead to the slides. But when you tell the truth of your personal experience, it's something that your partner can't deny, right? They can't say, I mean, some people, I guess, can ghost you. That's the big thing these days. You, but they can't say, oh, you're not experiencing a burning sensation in your stomach, because you are. Does that make any sense? So when you tell your truth, like, when you said that to me, I felt this burning in my stomach. And then you can take it one step further and say, and it reminded me of when my father used to put me down,
Mm,
or something like that. And then you're taking full responsibility for yourself in that communication. You're not blaming the other person. And then it opens a dialogue for you to bring love back in for both people. So
yeah.
Let's share the screen here really quickly. And I just want to kind of go through just some real basics.
Yeah.
Move this here because we could go on and on about this, but I guess what I'm seeing is probably not on there. You're just seeing the page that says conscious embodiment truth telling, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first step is to develop the body awareness, like what we were talking about before. So again, I use meditation as a technique for people to go inside, connect with their witness or observer to their thoughts and their feelings. One technique that's also great for that is called a body scan, where it's like a guided meditation where you go from the top of your body down and you scan and you become aware, are there any sensations or tension in my body? And we'll do that a little bit later, just so people can experience that. 1 second. Okay. All right. Put on the glasses here. All right. So then number 2 is recognizing your feelings. So once you go in and you start to become aware of what's going on, it's important that you distinguish your feelings from your thoughts. So sometimes when people ask, how do you feel? Somebody might answer, I feel like people really don't care about me. Now, that's not really a feeling. That's a thought or a belief, right? So we want to stay really specifically with what's occurring in the body. So you get to know your feelings. We invite you to really get to know the physical sensations that accompany fear and anger and sadness, so you can work with those body processes and you can learn to feel your feelings and not necessarily act on them right away, but you can learn to distinguish them from thoughts. Because once you say that thought to a partner, then that takes you down a whole road that's not even part of the present moment between the two of you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And so then I just really liked this quote that I found. It's like, no one sees what you see, even if they see it too. So that's the challenge, I think, in relationships, is both people can see something, or and both have a different take on it, right? That's the challenge of, go ahead.
It's so true. I really love that you brought that up. It's like no two people are going to even see the same picture alike.
And that's right. And that's why you have to educate your partner into what's really going on with you, because they saw something different, than what you saw. And you got triggered and they didn't, or whatever. There's lots of different scenarios we could go on there about. Let's go on to this. And the assumption that I think what we talked about earlier, that we need to have in relationships, is that we're 100% responsible for our internal experience. Once you blame other people for your experience, you're going down a really rough road in the relationship. So that's a really core belief in many conscious embodiment practices. And then here are just a few tips for conscious embodiment truth telling. So number 1, make statements instead of asking questions. So, this is what we were talking about, Cyndi, about especially women feeling disempowered in relationships, is that if you're asking a question, then you're giving your power over to your partner to resolve whatever issue you're talking about. Oh, did you feel that way? Or whatever the question is, you are giving your power away by asking a question. When you make a statement, you are in your power because that is your truth. But if you ask a question, you are relying on that other person to solve the issue between the two of you. Or does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, like statements like, "Oh, I'm experiencing X here, and I'm seeing that and through that experience, it feels like this agreement that we had is not happening." Or,
Right. A
you
commitment.
know, and so I speak a lot about that to my ladies around, you know, sharing, sharing your truth in a it's a love-based communication way
Right.
of how this is being experienced, you know and helping, and then opening up the dialogue between the two of you rather than accusing, making, asking a question in a way that feels, oftentimes like a disconnect in some way, and oftentimes giving away your power, because it's there's also some assumptions that are usually within the question too.
Obviously, that's so well said, and you really spoke to the other two tips about speak from your heart and from your personal experience. It's not about making somebody right or wrong. It's not about winning.
So true.
In the relationship, and then using I instead of you, because when you use you, you're going to put again somebody on the defensive because you don't know what's going on with that person. Even if you've been together for 40 years, you still probably don't know what they're completely experiencing in the moment, and what their past has how that has affected where they are in this particular situation. So yeah, you really spoke to that beautifully. And then just the final thing that I wanted to bring up is that your conscious embodiment truth, begins with describing your personal experience. And I spoke of that. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say is withholding is a form of lying. I love that statement too, because it's so true. It's like you're not telling your truth. So basically, when you start with conscious embodiment truth telling, you want to start with your physical experience. Like I said earlier, when we had that disagreement, I felt this pit in my stomach. And it reminded me of, when my father shut me down. That's the example I used earlier. Um, that opens the door to truth telling. That opens the door to you both go, then a question like, well, how can we help you with that, from the other person, or whatever kind of dynamic wants to happen in that particular situation. And the last thing I want to say is that conscious embodiment tools like breath work, creative expression, emotional expression, all of those things really should be done before you go into a truth telling. Let go of the charge is what I'm saying. You can feel your feelings, but it's really not always positive. And let me get out of screen sharing so I can see you here. Um,
Here we are.
there we go. So yeah, um, what's wonderful about conscious embodiment tools is it gives you all these different ways of letting go of the charge so that you can really speak from your heart, so that you can detach a little bit from that really strong charge of a memory or whatever that came up for you. And so to find creative expression, whether it's writing or voicing or moving or breath work or shaking, lots of different things can let go of the charge so that you come to your center when you're communicating your truth to somebody, so that it's actually heard better. And I think there's a better resolution, and more love comes in after that, because you're not putting somebody on the defensive by, by raising your voice or that kind of thing. So hopefully those little snippets of information are helpful to your viewers. And if you'd like to, what I'd love to do is just do a little connecting with our body, and just have people experience, for those of your listeners and followers that don't really have a strong connection with their body and listening to the wisdom of their body, this will be a nice little technique for them to start that process. So
So awesome. I love that, because I feel like we could all, everyone can use that support. And this is such a beautiful way to support ourselves and be able to, align with that inner knowing and trust, so I'm excited.
okay, great. So just allow yourself to get comfortable in your chair. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or just a soft gaze if it doesn't feel comfortable to close your eyes. And just take a couple of nice deep breaths. And in conscious embodiment, what we like to do is breathe into our belly and breathe out of our belly through our nose. So inhaling evenly in and evenly out through your belly, not your chest. Your chest will take you to a fight or flight response, but the belly is a nice calming, centering breath. So evenly in, maybe 3 counts, 1, 2, 3, allowing that belly to gently expand as you exhale. Just allow your belly to drop back in to your spine and deflate. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, allowing your belly to gently expand, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, allow it to just deflate back into your spine. And just do that one more time on your own. And just feel yourself arriving in your body. We're just going to start at the top of the head, and just notice, become aware of any tension, sensations on the top of your head, into your skull, into your forehead. Just keep that even breath going in your belly. Just bring your awareness down into your face, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, jaw, your ears. Just notice if there are any sensations there, or any tension, or any spaciousness, and just bring your awareness back to the back of your skull and into your occipital ridge, and then just down your neck gently, and breathing in gently and out, and bringing awareness into your throat. Just notice if there are any tension, sensations in your throat and your neck. Nice deep breath. And just let your scan go down into your shoulders and down both arms, into your elbows, and down into your wrists and your hands and your fingers, fingertips, and just notice in your arms and your shoulders if there's any tension or sensation. And then just bring your awareness back up into your shoulders, and roll it down the front and back of the body, your upper chest, upper back. Take a nice deep breath in. And just notice if there's any tension as you bring your awareness down into your lungs and your heart, your mid back, all of your internal organs in your stomach, kidneys, Take a nice deep breath in. Just notice if there's any sensation or tension that you're experiencing. As you take another nice deep breath, just bring your awareness down into your pelvis and your hips. And just notice if there's any tension or sensation as you bring your awareness down both legs into your knees and down into your ankles and feet and your toes. And just take one more nice deep breath in and just notice your whole body. And now I just want you to think of a relationship issue or problem that you've had or you'd like to solve. And just notice what you feel in your body when you think of it. Just stay focused on the sensations. Now ask your body questions and just let your body answer. Try to stay out of your head. Allow the body sensations to answer. So try not to make up the answers in your mind, and don't worry if you receive them right away. Is this familiar to you? Let your body answer. Do you want to solve this issue? Let your body answer. Are there any intentions here? Are you trying to get approval? Are you trying to get control of yourself or someone else? Let your body answer. Do you feel as if your survival is at stake? Is being right more important than solving this issue? What do you think you need to learn from this situation? Are you embracing this situation or are you withdrawing from it? What do you need to be completely free from this? What needs to be loved here? Are you willing to have this issue clear up? And just take a couple of nice deep breaths. Take a few moments to love and appreciate yourself. Feel your fingertips and your toes. Breathing in and out of your belly and your nose. Really love yourself up. This life is about love. How do we stay in our loving presence? So when we're ready, just take a couple of nice deep breaths again and just drop your head and gently open your eyes. And maybe after the session is over, you can spend a couple of minutes writing about what you got. How are you?
Good. Good. Deep in there. That was great.
Any insights that you got or received?
The guy, it was interesting because the original, when you brought up, sharing, think about a relationship issue or something you want to solve, immediately I had a pain in my, like a spark of pain in my neck, oddly, but then it dissipated quickly, and then it went down into my solar plexus, and it just, it was open, it was like, yes, of course. Do you want to solve? Yes. What to, it was really, and it was almost like time traveling into my organs. It was really interesting, and it just expanding and opening up the freedom within my body, even to express.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of conscious embodiment, is that it really supports you going in to what you're experiencing inside, to then release that and become open again. So whatever your body will show you where you're stuck.
Yeah, it was literally almost like, for lack of a better way of saying it, doing surgery inside of me, and just like, this openness happening. Do you want to solve it? Yes. um
Great.
yeah, it wasn't, it didn't really get to the how. It was just, there was an opening there in my body, so it just felt like a flow.
Nice.
So for our watchers and listeners out there, for our ladies that tend to get in their heads when it comes to this, they want to know, what's the next step, Greg? What do I do? How do I solve it?
And I would say you don't really do anything. You just connect with yourself more deeply. You relax into the flow of life,
Mhm.
just who you truly are. So when we're able to be with our partners in this really nice expanded space that I can see that you're in, this is truly who you are. You are love, you are compassion, you are forgiveness, and we all
Humility. Yeah, you're all of it.
have that. And by going into the body and bringing attention, to areas which you may have really pushed away, allows that movement to happen again, allows that flow to happen again, so that you're connected to who you truly are, and you don't get as triggered by things, and you can really love.
Mm, yeah, like it can be anything, you could say replace relationship, and some people might be seeking partnership or feeling frustrated with their process or their journey to their soulmate love,
Right.
and opening up that blockage even in the body can expand the awareness and flow of how to embody your next step on the journey too.
And your next partner, how to attract your next partner, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and just opening that up, it's really the piece that other piece, and like the feeling safe in the process. Like, I think that, and this is probably going to end up being another conversation, Greg, I'm feeling it.
It is another conversation because safety is really important. Uh, you have to create that for yourself, in your spiritual practice, in your relating to people, and yeah, safety is essential. So,
Yeah,
so yeah, that is another conversation that I'd love to have. So, how to do that
next time we'll
next
do
time?
that.
Yeah,
We're giving the audience a teaser right now.
right, of our next conversation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But this is really awesome. Like, how powerful the body is to be able to go into that place, open it up, and then start to see what opens up for you. And as you said, right, there's so much power in writing,
Yeah.
and just taking some time to write up what's opening up for me in this space, what's opening up in my body, and what feels attuned and aligned to to go forward
Yeah,
with.
and how does that affect the vibration between the two people, you know? Uh,
Yeah, there's that too, like the and the vibration that's opening up. There's a lot of conversation around vibration, magnetism, and this, the the body, works on that vibrational state to open you up to your truth on a deeper soul level. So, what a treat.
yeah.
It's just awesome.
My pleasure. So great being with you.
Yeah, same. Anyways, I know that you have a gift for our watchers and listeners out there. And by the way, grab the link below because it's down there, guys, to access. What is it?
Yeah, it's a conscious embodiment meditation that, people
Mm.
can take with them and do. And it's not completely like this, but it'll kind of, I think, help people connect back with with listening to their body. So yeah, it's about, I think, about a 10-minute meditation. So yeah, I'm happy to give that to people. And again, I can't thank you enough for inviting me to be here. It's been quite an honor.
Aw, same, illuminating for sure. And I feel like, the watchers and listeners who get to hear this and are called to this, will open them up
Yeah.
on a deeper scope. So beautiful. Well, thanks again.
Thank you.
And to everyone out there, from my heart to yours, here's to you. Really, you know, trusting yourself, opening your heart, and really letting love in, because you're worthy, you're valuable, and you get to have all your heart's desire. Bye, everyone.